Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into the Nothing Phone 3. We've got a really detailed review here, specifically looking at the white model. And, in a smartphone market where, let's be honest, things can feel a bit samey, this phone keeps getting called a real breath of fresh air. So our mission really is to figure out what's behind that feeling, what makes it pick. Okay, let's unpack this.
Exactly. And the review, it really digs into how it creates that different feel. It's not just about the specs list. It's more about the whole package design function, how it all works together.
Right. So let's kick off with that design. The review mentions it hits a kind of sweet spot, size-wise, at 6.67 inches. What did it say about how that actually feels to use?
Well, yeah, that's interesting. They seem to have found a good balance. Like, it's got a big screen, obviously, but it doesn't feel like a massive brick in your hand. The review points to the slim bezels, the slightly curved edges. Apparently makes it pretty comfy to hold, even one-handed.
Okay, so practical ergonomics, not just looks.
Exactly. And then there's the back, that glass back with the Glyph Matrix, those LED light patterns. Nothing's signature thing.
Yeah, the flashy lights.
Right. But the review says they're actually functional. Like, you can customize them for notifications, charging, calls. So you don't always have to flip your phone over. It's kind of playful, but useful too. Adds something to what's otherwise a pretty minimalist design. Oh, and it mentions the frame feels sturdy, reinforced. So it has a reassuring weight.
Interesting. So for a form and function there?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk visuals. The review calls the AMOLED display undoubtedly one of the highlights. High praise. What makes it stand out?
It sounds like it's just a really, really nice panel. First off, the 120 hertz refresh rate makes scrolling, animations, everything feel, super fluid. Buttery smooth is the term, I think.
Yeah, you notice that difference.
Definitely. And it gets bright, like really bright. The review specifically says it's easy to see outdoors, even in sunlight.
Okay, that's crucial.
Totally. And the colors are apparently vibrant, but not like over-the-top cartoony. Deep blacks, too, which is great for video. Just crisp and nice to look at whether you're watching something or just reading text.
Sounds like a premium display experience. But what about under the hood? The review mentions 16 gigs of RAM, 512 gigs of storage. That's a lot. What does that actually translate to for someone who pushes their phone hard?
It basically means speed and space without much compromise. With 16 gigs of RAM, apps should just fly open. Multitasking, switching between heavy games and other apps, it should handle all that without, stuttering or pausing.
Seamless, yeah.
And 512 gig use of storage. I mean, for most people, that's huge. You're probably never going to worry about running out of space for photos, videos, apps, whatever. What's also really interesting is that the review highlights how cool it stays.
Oh, even with that power.
Yeah, even during long gaming sessions, apparently, which is pretty impressive thermal management. That's not always easy to nail.
No, definitely not. Keeping cool under load is a big deal. Okay, let's shift to the cameras. A versatile triple rear camera array, 50 megapixel main sensor. How does it stack up in real life, according to the review, especially when the lighting isn't perfect?
So the main 50 MP sensor sounds really solid in good light. Good detail, balanced colors, pretty natural looking. The ultra-wide and telephoto lenses add flexibility, obviously. The review says they're best in good light, which is, typical. But it also notes they handle dimmer conditions surprisingly well. Better than you might expect, thanks to the processing. Avoids that overly processed look.
Okay. And portraits.
Yeah, gets a specific mention. Good background blur, that bokeh effect, makes the subject stand out. Seems to do a clean job separating the subject from the background. There's also a night mode, helps with clarity and color in the dark. Though the review did note it can sometimes smooth out fine details a bit. Kind of a common trade-off with night modes.
Right, smoothing versus noise.
Exactly. But overall, sounds like a capable, adaptable camera system for most situations.
Good to hear. Okay, the perennial question. Battery life. This one's got a 24-hour silicon carbon cell. Sounds fancy. What's the reality? How long does it actually last?
This seems to be a real strength. That silicon carbon tech, it basically packs more power into the same space. And the review says it comfortably gets you through a full, heavy day. We're talking streaming, gaming, calls, the works.
A full heavy day. That's impressive.
Yeah. And if you're a lighter user, maybe even a day and a half. And when it does run out, the fast wired charging is apparently really quick, like 0 to 70% in under half an hour.
Wow, okay.
It's wireless charging too, though it's slower. But yeah, that battery seems designed to avoid that 4 p.m. panic.
Definitely a major selling point. All right, last piece, the software. Nothing OS built on Android. What's the experience like, and how does that Glyph stuff tie in?
The review describes it as Really clean. Refreshingly so.
Yeah.
Nothing apparently avoids packing it full of extra apps you don't want,
Oh,
bloatware.
thank goodness.
Right. So you get pretty streamlined experience out of the box.
Yeah.
There are customization options, but it's not overwhelming. And the Glyph Matrix, it's not just hardware lights, it's integrated into the software too. Subtle animations, notification cues. It adds to the phone's unique character, makes it feel a bit different, less intrusive sometimes.
So it feels like a cohesive part of the phone, not just tacked on.
That's the impression, yeah.
Yeah.
Thoughtful integration.
Okay, so wrapping this deep dive up.
Yeah.
Based on this review, it really does seem like the Nothing Phone 3 earns that breath of fresh air label. You've got the design comfy plus the unique glyphs, that really nice AMOLED display, top-tier performance, 16 GB RAM, 512 GB storage, and it stays cool. A versatile camera system that seems pretty reliable, and that strong 24-hour battery at the fast charging, all running on that clean, bloatware-free Nothing OS.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, the review's takeaway is pretty clear. It says the Phone 3 doesn't reinvent the wheel, which is fair, but it polishes it to such a shine that it becomes really appealing. It delivers a proper flagship experience that doesn't take itself too seriously. It kind of leans into being different.
Yeah, it really does sound like it manages to pack in high-end features, but keeps that distinct personality. It dares to be different without, cutting corners on the important stuff. So the final thought for you listening, what does this all mean if you are looking for something powerful, but, well, different? Is that unique character, like the glyphs, is that enough to really make a phone stand out in today's market? Or do we maybe expect something even more revolutionary than just a beautifully polished wheel? Something to think about.